Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Positive EV. My name is Fracus III, your main host, as always, and with me today, I have a fantastic guest with me, friend and employee of the fantastic marketplace Skinport, Paulmania. How are you doing today, Paul?
Hi, Fry. I'm doing pretty. I hope you are as well.
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. It's been a long day, but ready to wind down with some podcast content and get to hang out with everybody, answer some questions, have some good fun.
That sounds lovely. And hello, Kerry, because I just saw your message in chat.
All right, so tell us. Let's start with who is Paul? Everyone's heard enough about me. Don't need to hear about me anymore. What about you? Who are you to Skinport?
Well, yeah, I'm Paul, like on this server known as Paulmania. I employ for Skinport. I do support over there. I have been working for Skinport for roughly 2 years now. Um, and yeah, basically, I've been like active in the CSGO community for quite a while. Started trading back in, when was it? I think like 2015, late 2015. And yeah, ever since I've been like really into CSGO skins, and that eventually led me over to Skinport.
Oh, nice. So, what sort of, how did you actually get first involved with Skinport? Was it just a random ad? Did somebody approach you? Um, what sort of brought it to your attention?
Well, that's a good question. Like originally I was I can't quite remember when it was, but I think it was in late 2019 or at the beginning of 2020. I was just looking for like a place to sell some skins because I still had an inventory and wasn't too active at the time. So I decided, I'm gonna look up like the trusted marketplaces on the subreddit, and I used Go Trade back then, like the subreddit for trading.
Yep.
And I just found a site that I hadn't heard of before, and that was back then Skinbay. So I tried it out, and it seemed all right. And I really liked like how the website looked. So I was like, okay, this seems fine. I'm going to use it from now on. And at some point, I joined the Discord server on there and just started being active on there.
Yep.
And one thing led to another. And at some point, I actually talked to End, like the owner of Skinport,
Yeah.
and we got talking. And yeah, like at some point he basically just asked me if I'm looking for a job, and originally I said no. That's the fun part. Actually, I was in university. I recently finished my degree, and I didn't really have the time to have a job. But at some point things started like changing a bit with corona and all that. So like everything basically moved to online, and I did have more time. So I was like, why not like earn some cash? That sounds fun. Like a job can't be the
Yeah.
worst thing ever. So I said yes, and that's how I got started there.
Wow, that's awesome. That oh, to just go from an active community member, you, in a sense, got rewarded for doing that. Being a good person, it pays off eventually.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, that's awesome. So, when you knew them as Skinbay, was the UI similar to what it is now, or what have you had some really major changes along the way, or?
I'd say it basically stayed relatively the same. Like there were some major changes, like the live feature that was not a thing back then. But like how the site works in general has been pretty much the same. Um, I mean, there was a different like payment service provider behind everything back then, but yeah, like the site itself really didn't change.
Okay, so
Uh,
r just some, has it been lots of like minor tweaks?
Yeah, basically, like just improvements. Like whenever something comes up that can be improved, like the team is basically trying to fix it right away. because obviously we want to offer the best experience that we can.
So when you say team, how many people do you work with at Skinport? How,
Yeah, I mean, we're not the biggest team ever, but we are roughly 10 employees at Skinport. Then there's obviously End, the owner, who also does quite a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
yeah.
So it's a small team, but it's still nice. Like, yeah, everyone knows each other. We all work from home, so it's
Oh, that's a
honestly a bit sad.
bonus.
I mean, yeah, it's nice, but like it's a bit sad because like most people I've never actually met in real life, so we only know each other from like video calls. But yeah, it's nice.
Okay. So do you guys like, are you pretty much constantly like in a, I guess you'd be in your own Discord or Slack or some kind of communication server almost all the time, or
Yeah, that's
Teams,
correct. Yeah,
Teams
like we
event?
have our virtual office.
Yeah.
Basically, we have like multiple voice channels, and like if there's nothing big going on, we just sit there. We can chat to each other if we feel like it. I mean,
Yep.
it's not mandatory by any means. Like you can also just say I'm not feeling it today. Like that's perfectly fine. But if you do feel like it, you can hop in the virtual office, just chat a bit, so you get more of an office feel
Hang
and
around the
not
water
the
cooler.
I'm sitting. Yeah.
Uh, so is it quite a relaxed team that you guys work with? Are there ever really many conflicts that you guys have, or is it tends to be pretty chill?
No, it tends to be really chill. Like, there's really nothing to complain about. I feel like the work environment overall is really laid back and relaxed. And I mean, I can only really speak for myself here, but I'm enjoying my job, and there's really nothing I could complain about.
Okay, cool. So actually, this is an important question we've got from Ken's. I know you guys tend to get it a lot, but I think to get a little recording of it would actually be really handy. Um, there are many countries that say Skinport is not available to them. I believe I'm aware of the reason why, but would you be able to shed some light as to why there are some countries that aren't supported for Skinport?
Yeah, of course. The main reason for that is actually not Skimport at all, but it's our payment service provider. If you look at Skinport, selling works in the following way. Like you sell an item on Skinport and then you receive a payout right to your bank account. All of that is done automatically. And we do not have any on-site balance. So like the money cannot be used to buy other skins. Um, that
Until it gets
means that
transferred to
for
your bank
everyone,
account.
yeah, yeah, of course. Like, I mean, if it's on your bank account, you can do whatever you'd like with it. But like the main reason for this, like for this message that is shown, is that we simply cannot send out payments to countries that are not supported by our payment service provider, and that means quite a few countries sadly cannot sell on Skinport because we simply can't send out any payments. The main reason for that is compliance reasons. Like our payment service provider has to follow local laws and like local regulations. So that usually means that they need to have an office in that country, um, have employees in that country that take care of all that. And to be quite honest, that is really quite a big overhead. Like they do need to have an office. They need to pay people there, and it
Hmm.
only really makes financial sense for them to do that in countries where they expect to be a big market. And Skimport is obviously not the only like marketplace that they support.
Yeah.
So they have to look like at the overall picture and decide where it makes sense to expand to. Like whenever our payment service provider does expand and add new support for new countries, we are more than happy to support those on Skinport as well. I think the most recent addition was actually New Zealand. I think
Oh, really?
roughly 1.5 years ago. Yeah. Um, so like we do try to support new countries whenever it's possible, but yeah, it's a bit like I would love to say we're going to support all countries soon, but it's just not possible for us. So that is sadly the answer to that.
Okay. Well, I think that's a pretty handy explanation, and that should provide some enlightenment for people that can't sell their items on Skinport. It's mostly, it's not Skinport's fault. They would if they could, but it's more banking uh, banking regulations, it seems, and or where admin
Exactly.
can actually perform. Um, Another common question that you see asked is, why can't we use balance? So, could you
Yeah,
explain the
that is.
reasoning behind that? Why you guys do it the way you do, and what the benefits of that are to you guys?
Yeah, like the main reason behind that, Skinport is a German company, so we are located, like our main office is located in Germany, so we have to follow German laws and regulations. And one of those is a payment service directive by the EU that basically changed the landscape when it comes to like online payments quite recently, roughly 2 years ago.
Hmm.
Wait, actually, roughly 3 years ago at this point. Um, and part of that is that like balance systems on websites actually require a banking license now. So that means you cannot handle money that belongs to another person unless you have a banking license. And getting one of those would not be viable for a marketplace like Skinport. So we have to find like someone to take care of that for us, and that someone is our payment service provider, Ardian.
Yep.
They do take care of that, but the downside is they sadly don't have a solution for like a balance system.
Yep.
That means if we were to introduce it ourselves, we would get in huge legal trouble, and it would not be something that we're allowed to do.
Yep.
And they can't do it for us. We're in a bit of a pickle there. We can't really offer one. We would love to do it because, I mean, we do see that people would really like one, and we hear that all the time. But it really comes down to that. Basically, the legal situation in the EU doesn't allow us to do it anymore.
Yep.
So,
Unless
yeah,
Adyen for some reason started to change their support for it and
exactly.
then
Like
allowed a
if they
balance
were
system.
to, yeah, if they were to say add like a native support for that, it would surely be something that we would add. Right now, it's just not possible to do.
Okay, cool. So, uh, good question here from Rabbit. That's quite interesting. So about the team, circling back to the team at Skinport, are you guys mostly German, or are you guys quite an international team? Where is your furthest employee?
We are actually like all the employees are actually from Germany. We do have some people that are not like employed, but like that work with us from other countries. But like all the actual employees are based in Germany. One of the main reasons for that is just time zones. It makes it a lot easier. Like imagine if you had someone from the United States and you had like a team meeting. That would be quite difficult to properly schedule for everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, like all the employees actually from Germany.
So does that include all your social media teams, or are
Yes,
they?
that includes. Yeah, that includes everyone.
Yep.
Like the whole marketing, social media support, everyone's from Germany at the moment.
Okay. So that's why the jokes are sometimes a miss.
Yeah, you could say that. Peak German humor, I guess.
Peak German humor. We enjoy it where we can. Ah, yes, the old memes from Babs. So, a, a, a question from Nexi that we we can kind of answer here is, how did gambling sites or other how did other sites handle balance if they're from the EU?
I mean, if they're from the EU, they're
They
usually
don't.
not gonna have it. Yeah, like gambling sites, especially, are not going to be from the EU.
No, they're
Um,
typically what, Russian,
that's
I think.
no. A lot of them are like located in like island nations somewhere far away from everyone else.
Yeah, they can just set up and have that balance rolling over and doing whatever they want.
Exactly. Like the laws are obviously more relaxed there, so that makes it easier for them. by not doing something like that, we basically give like our customers the guarantee that we do follow those laws, and that means that like the funds are protected for them. Like obviously there could be a marketplace based, I don't know, let's say somewhere in like South America on like some small nation in like some small nation that follows totally different laws. But would that be something that people really want? Like having their money handled in a place where the regulations are really not that strict and where you don't really have oversight over the company? I feel like striking like the balance between offering the features that people want and offering the security that like good regulations in the EU bring, it makes sense to be on the safe side there and to actually do it in the way that it's legal.
Agreed. There have been some times where I believe some sites have closed accounts and funds where they really shouldn't have.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's something that couldn't just happen like with Skinport, because there would obviously be quite a lot of legal trouble if we just did that.
Yeah.
And for good reason. I mean, yeah, I'm like not gonna really talk about like other marketplaces, but I am aware of such cases, and yeah, I can guarantee you that this is not something that could just happen like that.
Yeah. All right. So moving on from that, what? So being at the company for the last 2 years, you would have been with some interesting history, uh, like how you initially said that Skinport used to be Skin Bay. Um,
Yeah.
what what happened there, and what happened? Has there been any other interesting stuff that you're happy to talk about? Like any, I know you guys have done some interesting April Fools pranks. Some of them taken much better than others.
Yeah. Like the Skinport was originally called Skin Bay, as I said earlier. The story behind that is actually not that interesting. Basically, eBay saw the name, they weren't really happy about it. So they basically sent us a not so friendly letter asking us to not do that in the future and to change the name, which we complied with, and that's why we're called Skinport now. I mean, I would say it's not that interesting because I think we did post about that like on Reddit back in the day just to keep everyone like informed about what's going on. The April Fools, yeah. When we originally changed payment service provider and got rid of the balance, quite a lot of people weren't too happy about that.
Yeah.
And our April Fool's joke in that year actually said, yeah, due to European regulations, pictures of weapons are no longer allowed. Um, and instead, we've replaced every single picture on the website with cat pictures. So I can't remember quite exactly which one was replaced with what, but like a Karambit Doppler would be some fluffy kitten, and I thought it was really funny, to be honest. So yeah, that was going on for like a whole day.
How
I'm going to
many?
tell you, a lot of people didn't get it, and a lot of people were extremely mad about this. We did have a button that said, we did have a button that said, oh, I can't remember, was it I hate cats or I love dogs? I think it was I love dogs. And if you press that, it would go back to normal. But a lot of people didn't see that, so it took a while. A lot of people messaged our support, and we had to tell them, you can disable this. Don't be worried about that.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, then the next year we actually had the April Fools with color changing weapons, where we said, hey, recolors of skins are now in the game, and you can like get all the skins in different colors. So we added like a color filter on top of every single picture that kept changing.
Yeah.
And it
Oh.
looked fun for like a few minutes, but this,
I got tired of it very quickly. How many tickets did you
yeah,
guys get that day?
a
You
lot.
got.
Quite a few. I think it was a couple hundred. I can't quite remember. If I'm not I think I wasn't working that day, but my colleague was not happy. Let's put it that way.
Oh, I'm sure April Fools, whoever works on that is the fool of the day.
Yeah, I mean this year we did like a more relaxed April Fool's joke, like only on the social media platforms, just because like you don't want to annoy people. Um, we learned our lesson
That's
there.
the point of the day, though. The point of the day is to
Yeah, I
annoy
know, but
people.
I get that.
Maybe we can figure. Maybe there could be something done for CS2. Everything gets reverted back to CS:GO or something.
Maybe we'll see. I mean, we have almost a whole year to think about our next one.
Fantastic. Um, I know you and I talk about this a lot, and I've had discussions with quite a few of the other employees at Skinport regarding Veeks's question about bots, about how bots continually snipe stuff on
Yeah.
your fantastic live feed, and I understand that what you guys have been doing, but explain the arms race if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's actually relatively simple. We try to introduce some anti-bot measure, and it takes the bot makers like a few days, and then they're back in full force. Like we tried a lot of different things, but in the end, to be quite honest, there's just too much money behind it for them to just stop doing it. Like bot makers will obviously find ways to get around like anti-bot measures. It's an arms race, and like we try to introduce something, it works for a few days, they find a way around it. And it really comes down to like how much do you want to inconvenience like every single user of the website just to stop a few people from using the live or like abusing the live feed. um, and like I know that it can be frustrating, but there's also like quite a lot of people uh, that are like using the live feed normally, not as a bot, and still do get deals. Um, there's always like a couple dozen people active on there, so I do know that there's some cases where bots will get items. I'm like not denying that, but there's also quite a few cases where it's just someone being faster.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, like it's a bit of both.
yeah. I know I've managed to snipe a few decent deals for an easy flip, especially when unfortunately it's not necessarily Skinport's fault; it's the API's fault, uh, where the recommended price isn't correct. So you can sometimes snipe something if you know what the actual price is elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah. It's really hard to find like an accurate suggested price because there's obviously many data sources you can use, the Steam market being one of them. But especially when the price really changes in like a short time, and looking back at the last few weeks, that has been the case for a lot of items. We update the price like once per day, and I mean it can be hard to get it like 100% accurate.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so, let's see. That's a neat little question from another one from Ken's. What's something that you think Skinport could be, or maybe working on as its next improvement for the site? Is there anything that you know of that they're
I
trying that
mean,
End is trying to implement that's just taking a little bit longer, or is the site pretty good at the moment as it is?
I feel like the base side works pretty well as it is, but there are some things that like are being worked on. For example, we recently added the option to actually add more items to your card, because that was something that was requested quite a lot. It used to be that you could only add 40 items to your card. You can now add 100, if I'm not mistaken. So
Oh,
that was a change
can
that
you
many
mass
people were happy
buy,
about.
please? Add a mass buy.
We do have a feature for that now. I don't know if you saw that. You can actually add like every single commodity item has a slider now. and you can say how many you want to add, and then just add all of those to your cart in one click. So that was also something that a lot of people requested, especially for cases. Um,
Ah,
and
yes.
looking, yeah, and like looking at commodity items in general. Um, let's take stickers as an example. If you like search stickers and then order by highest discount, quite often you'll see the same sticker multiple times.
Yeah.
And that is something we're looking at right now. Like I can't promise anything, but we feel like it would be better to
Have a
basically
number.
stack them.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like have a number of how many are available, just to make it a bit easier to like see things that are actually listed on the marketplace.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see like how this can be done, if it can be done properly. So I can't promise anything here yet.
So you'd have like stacks at different price points.
Maybe even just showing like the cheapest one and then having like this slider to add things that shows like what's available for what price. But again, like that would be something we'd have to look at first. I can't really say how we would do it yet.
Yeah. Oh, a neat little suggestion is from Jatada. There's sticker links to skins. So if you've got to find a weapon with stickers on it, you can click on the sticker if you want to buy the stickers.
That is not a bad idea. Yeah, I'll definitely pass that along. I don't think we had that suggestion yet, so I'll quickly write that down. And yeah,
That's
I
great.
don't like obviously I can't tell you it's going to be introduced right away, but yeah,
Yeah. Jatada, I'm sure you have many, many suggestions, but we gotta keep the time for that down a bit. I'm sure you can message him. Uh, you can message Paul about that later, I'm sure, and he can block you. uh, um, okay, but that sticker one's actually really, really handy. Oh, that's an interesting one. Would Skinport think about introducing an auction feature?
um,
And how
it,
difficult would that be to
it's
implement?
yeah, like that is the main issue. Like we thought about it, and we also thought about buy orders because that's another thing that's like being requested quite a lot. It's relatively hard to introduce, especially buy orders, because we don't, as you know, we don't have a balance system.
Yeah,
So people could place buy orders and not put any money behind it, and then not pay, and that kind of defeats the purpose of a buy order, because usually it means, okay, I can see I can sell the skin for like this price right now, and then suddenly it turns out no, he doesn't pay or something like that. So it
yeah,
doesn't really make sense to do it that way. And I feel like that would actually be the same issue with like an auction feature. And it kind of goes against what like Skinport does as a marketplace. I feel like it doesn't really fit in that well. So right now there's no such feature planned, I'm afraid.
no such feature planned. That's okay. So that's sort of your little history and Skinport spiel. So you mainly got into this because you're a trader and investor. What
Yeah,
uh,
mainly a trader, honestly. I've always been really bad at investing.
we can delve into that if you want. But tell me about your trading history. Before the podcast, we were having a little bit of a chat about some of your what you used to do trade wise, but what really got you going in the early days of playing and trading CS?
Yeah, like it was ages ago. I can't remember. I think it was in 2014, like at the beginning of 2014. I actually saw what was that website called? I can't remember the name. That like website where you could bet on CS:GO matches with skins and like trade Lounge.
CSGO
Yeah, CS:GO
Lounge.
Lounge. I found that, and I realized that people are trading with keys. I didn't fully understand it at the time, but it took me like a few days to get like to just understand like how keys as a currency work. And I thought, this sounds interesting. I mean, just give it a try, I guess. And I checked the Steam market, and back then, if you bought a key, or just bought anything on the Steam market, it wasn't trade locked. So you could like instantly trade it again. So I found out that on CSGO Lounge you could buy M4 X-rays in factory new for 2 keys, and then you could sell them on the Steam market, get funds for 2 keys, and keep roughly €1 extra. And I did that 2 times and basically got another key for free. And I was like, damn, this is fun. I should do this more often. And then I kind of got started trading. And I basically I put €50 onto my Steam balance, bought keys with that, got myself a flip knife vanilla, and it all went from there.
Yep. Oh, and slowly you've flipped and traded up to your current inventory.
Yeah, I mean, originally I had quite a different inventory. I actually sold a lot of stuff back in 2016. That was when I started uni, and I was like, do I really have time for this? I guess I don't. And the whole 7-day trade cooldown was introduced, and things weren't looking too good at that time. And I decided, no, I'm just gonna cash out, like take the profit. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Looking at it now, I really regret that, but it seemed like the right choice at the time.
Yeah.
Basically sold my
Hindsight's
bayonet
beautiful, isn't
rubies.
it?
Yeah, it's just it feels really bad. I sold my bayonet ruby stat track for like €1,400.
Ooh.
That just hurts looking at it now. But I mean, yeah. At some point I came back to the whole CS skin scene. I basically started rebuying some stuff I sold. I discovered that I still had quite a lot of valuable stuff, and it went all right, I'd say.
Oh my goodness. And yes, Growling Bear, Mr. Sensible of all people, telling you that you just got to YOLO it.
Yeah, I mean, I really, really, really can't just YOLO stuff. I don't know. I'm bad when it comes to losing money.
You
It's
really
not
feel your
like
losses.
yes, like it's really bad for me. Like I can't open CS:GO cases because I hate losing money. But
Yep.
then when I actually do start doing it, and I did it like once in, oh God, when was it? I think like 2019, and I just couldn't stop and spent like €200 on it. And that was like the last time I actually opened cases because I hate losing money, and you always lose money with cases. So,
Yeah.
but that always keeps me like I don't know. I can't really invest properly because of it. Because there's always that thought in my head saying, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose it. Like you're gonna
We-
lose money on this. Don't do it. And then like even if I have the right feeling about investments, I don't buy into it. And at some point I regret it. And that cycle has been
we-
continuing for years.
I believe we have quite a history about this, you and I.
Yeah, that is true.
We will talk about uh, talk about an investment that where the numbers are looking good, and it's like, all right, then let's start moving a little bit of money around, and then
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
why?
and then I'll say it's too risky and won't buy while Fry buys in. And then a few months later, we're going to talk about it again. And I'm going to write him, God, I regret not investing while he's basically swimming in profits. And that has been
Hey.
happening for 2 years now.
Oh goodness. Unfortunately, that's just the way that the way that it goes. Unfortunately, uh,
Yeah.
but maybe I can get you to change your ways a little bit eventually.
I mean, I did buy into Antwerp at least. So I feel like I'm slowly changing my ways. Yeah.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
that should hopefully help to convince me to actually put some money behind my decisions in the future instead of like spending €10. So
Is 10
yeah, I
euro
mean like
that is that your sort of risk profile is €10?
yeah, basically I feel okay spending €10 on something, but as soon as it goes above that, I feel bad. And yeah, I spent a lot more than €10 on Antwerp, and it went well. and I'm
Yeah.
still happy about that.
Oh, good. Because you've got a couple thousand capsules or something, I believe. Or
Yeah,
did you
I
more stick to
think
hollows?
I think I have like it's not that many to be honest. I think it's like 6,500 capsules or something like that. And yeah, like a couple hundred hollows. It's okay. Like it's not much, but like it's not much looking at some people on this Discord. Let's put it that way.
No, the legendary growling is there, is here. He's he is one of the big boys.
Yeah, for sure.
Very nice man, very nice man. But he is definitely one that YOLO'd into CSGO and it has paid off for him amazingly well. Oh, goodness. All right. Has anyone else got some questions for Paul?
I actually saw one earlier by Ken's. Have I ever been scammed before? And if I did, how? That's quite interesting because I've only been, I don't know if you can even call it a scam, because I have been scammed once. That was in 2015. Should have been in 2015. I was buying skins on Reddit for keys, and someone posted about a Karambit Marble Fade, and it was a really good price. So I just like instantly sent the offer, and then I realized, damn, this guy is actually selling a minimal wear Karambit Marble Fade, not a factory new one.
Oh no.
And in theory, he never wrote that it's factory new or minimal wear in the post. But I tried to cancel the offer, but it was too late because he had already accepted, obviously.
Oh.
So now I was stuck. Like all my keys, I spent like all the keys I had except for like one or two on this damn knife. And I was stuck with a Karambit Marble Fade minimal wear that no one wanted. And
Mm.
I thought, damn, this could really be an issue. And I went on CSGO Lounge and I found a guy who was looking for a Karambit Marble Fade, and he basically overpaid by 200 euros.
Oh.
So I got scammed, but made like 200 euro profit on it. I still don't
Hey.
know how that worked out, but it did somehow. And I think my biggest CSGO win also happened during that trading time. Um, Let me think, how was it? Yeah. Some guy was posting on Reddit for weeks. He was trying to sell a StatTrak well-worn Howl,
Ooh.
and I actually was like, that's interesting. I've never seen one of those. So I looked into it a bit more, and it turned out that there was, I can't remember, I think it was 11 of them out there,
Yeah.
and one guy tried to collect all of them. But one other guy, like one other owner, did not want to sell it. So the guy could not possibly collect all of them, and he gave up on it. And he deposited 9 of those howls onto a gambling site because their
Ooh.
price suggestion was broken.
Yeah.
They were stuck on that bot. Like the owner of that gambling site took them out, and they were stuck. Like no one was getting them anytime soon. The other guy was not selling his, so there was only one single one up for trade, and that was the one being sold on Reddit. So
Yeah.
I contacted that guy. I paid, I can't remember quite how much it was, but I paid his buyout. Like I didn't negotiate at all. And I asked him if he could delete all the posts that he had on that. And he did.
Yeah.
So there was no like history of it being sold. I waited a day and I made a post like with the whole story, how this is the only one that's still out there, and like this is your chance to own like a really unique collector's item. And I got contacted by Max Gillett. He actually wanted to buy it off me.
Yeah.
Um, and another guy saw that and he was like, "Damn, if Max Gillett wants it, I can squeeze some money out of him." And he bought it off me for my buyout. Then contacted Max Gillett and told him, "Yo, I have it now. Add another 500 euros on it, and then you can have it." And McSkillum told him, "No, I'm not buying it anymore. Goodbye." So that guy got stuck with a well-worn StatTrak Howl that he couldn't get rid of because the only person that was actually interested in the story basically told him to go F himself. So yeah, that's how that ended up. But hey, in less than 48 hours, I made like 500 euros profit on that damn howl. Like that was my biggest win ever.
That's awesome. Oh, plus 500 euros for telling a good story.
Yeah, basically. Sometimes it really comes down to that.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, poor guy, but also Rip being greedy.
Yeah, I mean, there was no reason for him to like buy it. Like, it didn't make sense for him. But yeah,
He
I
tried to
mean,
he tried to bleed McSkillet, and McSkillet was like, "I am not negotiating with a terrorist."
yeah, pretty much that.
Oh, damn. So plus 500 euros and told someone to rip Bozo.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, awesome. Have we had any other? Um, Actually, that's a interesting question that I might reword a little bit from Onion Era. Is, is there a time or a situation where you would move on from Skinport?
I mean, it could be that that time is actually going to be relatively soon. I recently, like I actually mentioned earlier that I finished my degree recently. I studied law and I'm done with that law degree now. So what comes next is like a 2-year clerkship.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if I'll have the time to keep working at Skinport while doing that. And I'm actually applying for it right now. It should start in August.
Hmm.
So if it turns out that I don't have time, I guess my time at Skinport would basically end around that time. But I do want to like keep working, so we'll see how that turns out. I can't really say it yet.
Chuck me a reference. I'll come work. I'll answer tickets. That would be an interesting thing, but that would probably tie me down quite a bit. Is it?
Yeah, for
Do you
sure.
find that it's quite a tie down in uh, what you guys can do in regards to CS, and because everything sort of has to get through that Skinport filter?
I'm not sure if I would like understand that question. Like
So
what
like,
exactly do you mean?
you,
Sorry.
interacting with social media or other individuals, your perspective or your any advice that you'd give comes through the lens of being a Skinport employee and not necessarily independent.
I mean, yeah, of course. I like, especially on this Discord, I always try to like not make it too obvious that I work for Skinport. Like whenever someone asks a question, I try to stay neutral on that. Like when people ask what marketplace do you recommend, I just post the whitelist
Yeah.
and all that. But yeah, it really does change your perspective on things, especially if you see like marketplaces that offer certain features and you're like, well, how do they do that? Or you see people doing certain things where you're like, that shouldn't really work that way. That's a bit weird. I saw it in chat earlier. Someone talked about taxes and all that. And I mean, I'm not going to go into details here, but there's a lot of things that a lot of people are likely doing wrong. So let's just keep it at that.
There are some things that are not exactly correct and may or may not result in issues,
Exactly.
but that is not our place to comment.
Yes, that is true.
Do you guys, as part of German, like as part of being a site that does handle sales, do you guys send out any tax forms, like an automated ones for the Americans?
Oh, yes, we do. Like
Is
if
that part of
a
admin or?
customer from yeah, like right now it's only in the United States. There's a what's it called? It's the 1099K form that is automatically generated as soon as the federal limit is reached. If I'm not mistaken, that was 20,000 USD per year,
Or a 600 euro
and now
transaction?
it's now changed to 600 US dollar, like US dollars. It's like
Oh,
the total per year. So a lot of people are basically gonna have one generated at the end of this year, because like this is the first year where it's actually being reported like for anyone below that or like above 600 euros. And the EU actually has something similar. That recently got introduced, but that law actually doesn't apply to marketplaces such as Skinport. It's supposed to apply to sites like eBay,
Yep.
but it does not apply to virtual items. So yeah, to my knowledge, there's not going to be any reporting going on there, at
Yeah.
least at the moment.
I
So
think to
we'll have to
answer,
wait if the law changes.
yeah, I think to answer Growling's question, you'd have to ask a tax agent in the UK, like, because UK is also not part of the EU anymore.
Exactly.
So there's going to be some really weird corner cases that tax agents going to hopefully have their head wrapped around.
And do make sure to find a tax agent or like an accountant that actually understands at least a bit about virtual items or NFTs or something similar, because for a lot of them, it's not something they've ever heard of, like something about, and they're not going to be able to give you any advice if they don't understand it.
Yeah. Especially some of the more well-established or older tax agents may not have an appropriate understanding of
Oh yeah,
the funny CSGO pixels,
yeah, that is very true.
especially when you've done
Um,
20, 30 years of traditional investments and accounting.
Yeah, it's kind of funny actually. Recently, a politician that is in the European Parliament, he's from Denmark. Uh, he actually um, he actually asked a question to the EU Commission about the about like VAT rules, like value added tax,
Yep.
um, for NFTs and CS:GO skins. He actually explicitly asked about CS:GO skins,
Really?
because he said, well, this whole thing is outdated. Um, like it doesn't work. We actually have a huge issue here because people in the EU, if they want to make a business buying and selling skins, they have to pay VAT on every single sale, and that is something that doesn't exist in like outside the EU. So that means people in the EU have a huge tax burden, while people outside the EU can make much better prices because they don't have to pay it.
Yeah.
And guess what the commission said to that?
What?
They said, tough luck. That's how it is. Feel
Damn.
free to like change it. Maybe. I don't know. We are not
Expecting
going to change it.
expecting the
Yeah.
EU to make changes and reduce their tax income. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
pretty much.
Oh, goodness. Well, what time are we at now? We're at about 48 minutes. So before we sign off, we've got about 10 minutes tops left. Does anybody else have some questions for Paul? Or Paul, do you have anything else you want to touch on regarding Skinport? Um, any little self promos?
I mean, I the only thing I can say is that it's a good idea to follow our social media channels, especially on Twitter. We have like a huge monthly giveaway each month, so that might be worth taking a look at. Um, but like otherwise, I don't really want to promote Skimport anymore. Like I think most people here do know that Skimport exists, and
It does get
yeah,
pushed. What's the most
yeah.
here we go. What's the most prized item in your inventory?
That's actually kind of funny because I just looked it up earlier to be sure. It is a what's it called? It's an SG ultraviolet. Um,
Yep.
I think it's field tested. It's StatTrack field tested, and it was the third CS:GO item I ever owned. I actually looked it up, and I got CS:GO like at the end of 2013, and I went to the Steam market and spent like some leftover balance on that skin, and I still have it. There's over 2,000 kills on that skin. I bought it for 48 cents, and it's now worth like 16 euros, and I'm never selling it. This is like my most prized possession because I still have it.
Oh, that's fantastic. We love in the skin community. We love skins as much as we love money. We also really like skins, and to have a skin that you just want and will keep and not get rid of is something that's really special.
Yeah, for sure. Like there are not many skins I still have left from that time. Um, I feel like that is basically the only one that still remains. I do have another one that's like I got it a bit later though because that SG I got it before Katowice 2014 happened, and
Yep.
all the other stuff happened like after Katowice. So yeah, that's like not as old. Like I have a really cool dual Beretta skin. It's the hemoglobin with two ESL skull foil stickers on it that I got for market price.
Yep.
Good times.
Good times. And your MIDI has mentioned your default AK.
Oh god, don't get me started. Yeah, my default AK that I crafted while Kato 14 was going on. I saw those capsules during sale for 19 cents each, and I just spent my leftover balance of like a euro 20 or whatever I had on a few capsules. I opened them. I did get one Dignitas Hollow that I sold for. Wait, I actually sent the screenshot to Fry earlier. Let me double check. I sold a Dignitas Hollow that I unboxed myself for 44 cents. There we go. Yeah. Um, and the paper stickers I applied. I applied a Fnatic Katowice paper on my FAMAS poles. I still have it. I applied a mouseboard paper sticker on a 5.7 Kami. I have that on my alt account, so I still have that. I put another sticker that I can't remember on a Desert Eagle Mudder. I think I still have it somewhere, but I can't seem to find it, so it might be gone. I'm not sure. Maybe I like gave it to a friend and he lost it. I really don't remember where it went. And the other stickers went on that. Yeah, the other stickers went on that default AK because I didn't have an AK skin and I didn't have money for an AK skin.
Oh,
So I decided, well, I might as well put it on the default AK. Yeah, the stickers weren't worth anything, so
yeah. At the time,
yeah.
it was like, oh, it's just a sticker. It's fine.
Yeah,
Looks
it's
cool.
I don't
Put
know,
a
like
sticker on it.
the LDSC sticker was like I don't know 6 cents if even.
Yeah,
At like the Titan sticker was like 10. It was nothing. Yeah,
yeah,
it's just a sticker.
yeah.
Who
At the
could have
time,
known?
no, nobody knew. Like there was
Yeah,
zero precedent. There was zero idea that it was going to happen. Like
yeah. I mean,
at all.
yeah, I could tell a funny story about Katowice 2014 capsules actually, because I saw them at like on sale for 19 cents each in the store, and I had a feeling that those things would go up in value. So I actually like back then I was too young to have like a credit card or PayPal or
Yeah.
anything. So the only way for me to get balance on my Steam account was to either get a PaySafe card or get a Steam wallet card. Um, and to get those, I had to get like to a nearby store that wasn't too close, and
Yeah.
they would only sell it if you were at least 18 years old. So
Ooh.
I always had to ask my parents if they could get me one of those wallet cards. And I told my mom, "Hey, I want to buy those capsule things in this game I'm playing for 19 cents each. I wanna get 50 euro like I wanna add 50 euros on my Steam account and just buy as many as I can get." And she told me, "Don't waste your money on virtual items like that. Like keep your
Did
money together. That makes no sense."
have
So
you
I
shown
didn't
her?
get those. Yes, I told her like every time, like this comes up quite a lot. Like I'm actually doing it like for fun now. I'm
Oh,
not really mad at my mom or anything. It's just a funny story because let's be honest, I wouldn't have those capsules anymore if I
no.
like it. I did have like what was it? It was a Ninjas in Pajamas Hollow. I sold that for like 5 euros. So let's be honest, I would have sold those capsules as soon as they hit 5 or 10 euros as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, but I did calculate it recently, and if I still had all the capsules, I would be a multi-millionaire. But yeah, that
Oh
obviously didn't
no.
happen.
Oh well, it's just one of those things.
Yeah,
It happens. Like you can't be
yeah.
on every boat.
Oh no, I mean, I'm not too bothered by it.
Yeah,
It's just kind of funny.
it is. Well, that's okay. All right. Well, aside from Cato 14, what stickers do you like the best? Are you an MLG believer?
Mm, I I'm I can never really say which stickers I actually like the best, because I feel like it really depends on the item that they're applied to.
Just
Um,
unapplied. What sticker do you like looking at the best?
it's really hard to say. I'd say Stockholm stickers, to be honest. I really like them a lot.
Yeah.
Um, especially the Mouse Hollow and the Virtus Pro Hollow. Those have to be two of my favorite stickers in the game. Yeah.
Virtus Pro and
I
Mouse, the respectable.
Yeah, that quite a few, like especially Boston stickers. There, I really enjoy some of the hollow effects on there, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like overall, it really depends on the item. Like if it's just a sticker, it's definitely Stockholm stickers for me.
Stockholm stickers. I like it. Totally not vested into that at all. Oh, all right. So, guys, that I believe makes time. That we've hit our hour of time together. So I just want to say massive big thank you to Paul for coming and having a chat with us outside of his busy schedule now that he's Mr. Lawyer Man uh, and working for Skinport. He's, as you can tell, really nice fella. He's absolute gentleman for coming and having some words here. It's been absolutely fantastic to have you on, Paul.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Anytime. And so now, guys, just so you know, I've got a couple more guests lined up for Positive EV. I won't spoil the guests yet, but I am working on a few more people. Big thanks again to Paul. Thank you to everybody who came and listened in live. I think the highest I saw our live audience count was 97. We were so close to hitting 100 people in the audience. Maybe next time, we'll see. But thank you so much, everyone, for coming to listen live. You can, if you want to, go and follow me on my YouTube page. It's linked in my, it's connected to my Discord. I'll be uploading this probably tomorrow to YouTube. And so for those that want to rewind, see specific questions, see specific answers, you can go and pop on to my YouTube page and see the VOD. Don't forget to like and subscribe to that. I will be trying to set up a co-live stream next time for YouTube as well, so you'll be able to listen and watch live on YouTube as well as Discord. Thank you so very much to all of you who have participated today, and I'll see you next time. See ya.